So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're doing our end of year wrap-up and retrospective.
Well, let's be honest, rambling.
Well, yeah.
End of year rambling.
The video that no one asks for, but everyone gets.
They want it, but they don't know they want it.
So normally we'd kind of go through the year, all the things that we did that are war game related.
2020 was
obviously being 2020. After about 2 months, things ground to a halt. Every single convention that we would have gone to was cancelled, as they should have been. And so, you know, it's not like we did a whole lot of new and exciting and big things necessarily.
I mean, we did play a few times. We started playing again probably in late May, early June.
Yeah, in the summer. Obviously, we took a lot of precautions.
And now we've kind of gone back to not playing as much. We really didn't play much in November, December, and now into January.
Yeah, we're doing a lot less of that. So, I mean...
Which sucks.
Generally, well, I don't know. But so, I would say... I did not play nearly as many war games as I would have done or did last year.
I don't think that's a question.
But
we did play a lot more solo games.
Exactly.
Like, I played a ton of solo games.
So, if probably, number of games-wise, you probably did play as much as last year, maybe.
Maybe I did.
And, you know, I played some solo games. Because I had the opportunity to work from home, I was able to use this table to set up some really big games. Like, I had the Dark Valley out and played that solitaire. So I had opportunities to play things I wouldn't have normally done. So it's, you know, silver linings here.
Well, and it really in 2020, I discovered really Hollandspiel's line of solitaire games. I played, 3 or 4 of theirs. And then White Dog games.
Yeah.
I bought 3 or 4 of those. It's just so easy from your home when you're doing nothing else to get on your iPhone and just buy a game. But I discovered probably 5 or 6 of their solo games. So it was a different kind of year. Not necessarily we didn't play. We just didn't play as many 2-player games or together.
Yeah,
as much.
I played a lot of narrative games. So I played Beneath the Med. I played The Hunted. I played Target for Tonight.
I played Silent Victory.
Yeah, a lot of those style games I did. I played some big war games solo on my own, like the Dark Valley I just talked about. And then for a good chunk of the spring and early summer, I played a lot of Vassal games. Or like games online. So I played a lot of coin games that way. I think I played Fire in the Lake. I played a lot of Pendragon. I played that like 6 times. I played in a big game of Here I Stand, which was amazing. And just
we played SPQR.
Yes, we did.
2 of us on Vassal.
And so it was just a year of different gaming opportunities. Yeah. Just different, and you know, some learning experiences through that of what I do and don't like, what I am and aren't comfortable with. You know, and I started a couple games but didn't finish them. Very sorry to my opponents, you know who you are, and they grill me about it all the time. But
have they blacklisted you? No. Like, don't play with this guy.
Yes and no. Like but you know, it's some of those things are hard to commit to with how much of a time sink they can be when you're not. Hey, this is my gaming time. I'm going to sit down for 3 or 4 hours on a weekend and we're going to play a game. Yeah. It's hard to kind of commit some of that time throughout the week when I normally wouldn't be playing. You know, trying to rearrange your priorities and how things work. There's a lot to be kind of said for having some structure or being able to change the way that you're comfortable with gaming and how you fit that into your life as a hobby.
Well, it's interesting because I know a lot of people that, you know, we communicate with and they check out our stuff on YouTube and the video or the blog. You know, that's their gaming kind of life normally, right?
Yes.
They don't necessarily always have, many of you don't have an opponent to play with regularly. We feel very blessed to have that. So we had to find other ways to game. And it involved more solo, like you said, more Vassal. I also, frankly, I wrote a ton on the blog because I had nothing else to do. And I was able to lay games out, go over them, and kind of dissect them into bite-sized morsels on the blog. So that was interesting. It wasn't necessarily traditional gaming where I was actually playing, but I was able to remember our several plays of that game and kind of reminisce and think about it, think about strategies. So that was interesting. It was just different. I'd have rather been playing with you or playing at a con at WBC or Gen Con, but unfortunately we didn't get that this year.
No. One of the other things that we did that was new for us, and that was basically born out of necessity as well, was we did some live video interviews. Mm-hmm. Normally the interviews are conducted, and they're done written form, in long form,
which we're still doing
on the website. But it was, I don't know if we were just being opportunistic about it.
Yeah.
But we did some video interviews with Greg Smith, David Thompson, and it was a cool way to get on. I think we just got on Skype and just recorded everything. And so that was a nice way to get some of that kind of in-person contact and kind of wargame immersion that we would have had, because we do a lot of our interviews at conventions.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that, so we're able to do things virtually. That was some new stuff for us. And we were also able to go on Harold Buchanan's podcast.
Yep, that was fun.
Also done remotely as well. That was also a fun experience. Something that we did do that was something we hadn't done before.
And I think we would have liked to have done more of those interviews, but it just... we didn't like the quality of the video. It wasn't always
or the
that
audio.
great.
Internet's going in and out.
Well, my internet sometimes just really struggles. I have so many people at my house that they're all downloading videos and live streaming and playing video games, and it messed with my internet. But yeah, that was interesting. I wouldn't mind doing an occasional one of those even now.
Yes.
We've kind of gotten back away from that and not done that. But once again, it's a way to bring content or material in a different format.
Yeah, the circumstances of 2020, I think, pushed us into trying some new different things, which was interesting, with it being, a very atypical wargaming year for us, where it's like, here are our calendar events through the summer where we're going to go to this con, and at those we do a lot of these interviews with publishers or designers, or we'd, video different bits and pieces like that. We just had to find alternate outlets to do those kind of things. Yeah.
And I really want to go back to cons. We've even talked in 2021. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I know that for instance, Origins has now been scheduled for the fall, but you and I have had that conversation. Are we really ready and or comfortable? Because when you go to those cons, you're on top of each other. There's not a way to really social distance. I mean,
especially at places like Origins and Gen Con.
And
I would be very surprised if they didn't have a lot of, limitations and everything's
right.
But you can't rely on that stuff necessarily. And who knows where? There's just so much unknown still. Who knows where we'll be in the train of, everyone's got vaccinated, so we're all feeling a little bit more confident.
Right.
At Gen Con, they have 70,000 turnstiles.
Yeah,
it's impossible to track that kind of stuff. So it might be another slow year on that front for us, with how things go.
Well, and in the end, I mean, we have families.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to work. We've been back to work since mid-June. I know you work from home.
Yeah, I'm lucky to work at home.
I wish we were working from home, but it's okay. But even when I go to work, I mean, I'm on Zooms all day, every day. I have very little interaction with people. We don't have meetings with more than one or two people. So anyway, I look forward to potentially getting back to cons, to playing games with friends and associates, and I miss that. That was something I really missed this year.
It was sad.
It was.
It was necessary, and I'm not like, I wish that had happened.
Yeah.
But, that's one of the highlights of our year.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things, is going to WBC and just playing a ton of games with people.
Yeah.
And seeing everyone again, because at places like that where everyone's a wargamer, there is such a camaraderie and a friendship there with people. And for some people it's like their annual vacation. They'll go for the full 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Start to finish, and it's a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And being able to do that again one day, very excited for that, if and when that's really feasible.
Yeah. WBC was probably the one I missed the most.
Yeah. But that's the one where we do probably the most wargaming, I would say.
I mean, I love Gen Con, but Gen Con is a completely different experience for us. Although we did have the insurrection, last year, and that was being planned for this year.
I know.
For a second.
And that was one thing I was quite sad about, because we have a great team of people who are planning the next insurgency at Indianapolis, big war game.
Insurrection. Sorry, insurgency. Sorry.
We had this. There's really good people behind the scenes working with us that aren't me, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But
I know you don't know what you're doing.
We were putting together some really nice events. Mm-hmm. We, getting together, making it a bit more, I don't know, polished and,
a little more
organized and structured.
Rather than just putting a sign up on Board Game Geek or a Geek List and saying, hey, who wants to play Labyrinth, or who wants to play, this coin game. And we were doing events.
Yes, and it was great. The inaugural year we did it in 2019. But, people were like, oh, I couldn't be there on a Friday. Yeah. Can we do it on the Saturday and Sunday? And it was like, well, so...
Yeah, because last year we just did it on the first day,
it was just kind of a get-together almost.
Yeah.
But
this year we had talked about doing something every day.
And there was a lot of stuff had been planned. I'd submitted events to run.
Yeah, yep.
So had a lot of other people. And so for that to get cancelled... Again, necessary, but also it was like, oh man, it was a shame, because that was going to be really good, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to being able to get back to that in the future as well.
I think we will get there. It's just, is it going to be in 21, or is it going to have to wait till 22?
Yeah.
It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's more important things than wargaming. There's more important things in our lives, and we'll get there. We'll eventually get there.
So just generally speaking, with everything that happened, I was still quite happy and a little bit surprised at how many good games came out this year.
I don't know that the number of games that came out diminished at all.
No.
I think there were still... I mean, I put together our monthly Wargame Watch feature for the blog, where we look at new pre-orders that are offered, as well as new games that are shipping. I mean, every month it was 7, 8, 10 games that were shipping, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games that were being added to pre-order. I don't know that we had any slowdown in that.
Early in the year, in like the March, April time, where a lot of everything was kind of shut down properly, I was worried that we weren't going to get anything new coming in, because a lot of the printers are not in the US.
Yeah.
And the ports and the docks then got really backed up, and it took a long time to get things through customs. And I don't know if that's... I feel like some of that's still happening, but some of that's slow. But I was worried we weren't going to get a lot of games that I was very excited for and looking forward to. But frankly, almost all of them did come out and were delivered in a timely fashion. Well, I feel like some of the things... I feel like there was an explosion of games towards the end of this year.
There was.
Where I think stuff that had been backed up was like, oh, we finally got it. And they were like, you'd get 5 or 6 games coming out that you're like, oh.
Well, I'll use GMT as an example. I want to say in September-ish, I swear we got like 7 games all at once. And it was games like 1918-19 Storm in the West and Apocalypse Road and
All Bridges Burning
and Caesar Rome versus Gaul. Those big meaty games all came out at once. And we haven't had a chance yet to get through all of those.
Yes.
Normally, when we get a game within 4 to 6 weeks, I think we've gotten through it, through the rules, we've clipped it, we've organized it, and we're ready to
because normally
and play it.
Yeah, I think in a normal production cycle, you can get 1 or 2 a month or so.
Right.
And it's kind of like a steady trickle almost. But this was like, wait a couple of months, and it's like, boom, here's a bunch.
Yeah.
And then you might have a few weeks off, here's a bunch.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that's just my impression of things, or if that's what actually happened, or if that was just how the schedule was, or if that was affected by everything this year. But yeah, I felt like there was some big game dumps at some points, and it was like, oh, okay, we got a lot of stuff to play.
Well, and we had some really big... I mean, there were big Kickstarters that were... the space game from Compass, I'm drawing a blank now.
Stellar
Horizons. That one came out, I want to say, in June?
Gosh, was it only June? It genuinely feels like that was like a full year ago. And whether or not it was is a different question.
I feel like it was June, but maybe it was July. But we got that one. That was one we both were looking forward to.
Yes.
You grokked the rules. We sat down, we played it, we messed around with it, and then we played a game, and it's like, That was fun. It was a big campaign. Another one was Invasions from Owl Wisdom. Or
Yes.
Wisdom Owl, sorry. We still haven't necessarily played full. We've played some little learning scenarios. That one had a few problems, and we need to work through that.
Yeah.
We're kind of waiting for the errata to catch up. But that was another big one that came out. And, I mean, obviously, GMT had a ton of new games that we were looking forward to. But some of those Kickstarter games, man, there were some really good ones this year.
Yeah.
You know, and Stellar Horizon isn't necessarily a war game, but, man, it was
you
a...
fight and shoot each other.
Yeah, you do.
It's a sci-fi game, I guess.
But, man, that was a cool game, and really enjoyed that. And I'd love to play that again. I'd love to play a full, 4-player game of that, too.
Without ruining our top 10 list,
Yeah,
what were some of your favorite games? What games that you really liked?
Well,
Maybe not favorite, just games that you really liked.
You know, a game that came out this year that I really enjoyed. It was a solo game, Aurelian, Restorer of the World from Hollandspiel. It's in their 3-cup adjustment system.
Is that what it's called?
It's called the 3-cup system, and it's really ingenious because you move these chits around from cup to cup based on the actions you take and how it makes the locals feel about you. I love that system. Agricola, Charlemagne, and then Aurelian. That one was really fun. Also Stilicho, Last of the Romans from Hollandspiel, another solo game that I really enjoyed. Probably my favorite 2-player game that we've played was Caesar Rome versus Gaul.
Really?
I enjoyed the heck out of that.
Interesting.
Although I got my butt stomped. And I think
very good.
now that we know better, I want to go back and play it again because we just didn't understand everything. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. I also enjoyed this Napoleon Returns, a light card game. I mean, you use cards to battle, and it was fun. I really enjoyed that. That was another one. Undaunted Normandy, or North Africa, sorry.
North Africa, yeah, that was fun.
Another one I really enjoyed. Those are kind of ones that stuck out in my mind.
Yeah, Caesar Rome versus Gaul was very good. I think, and I'll be honest, it was a surprise to me how much I liked it, even though it probably shouldn't have been, was All Bridges Burning.
Oh, that game was awesome. The coin series, yeah.
I went into that game with some trepidation because of it was a 3-player thing, so that was going to be new, and it's a theme that isn't like the most inspiring to a lot of people.
Yeah, the Finnish Civil War. I mean, it's
Finnish
not
Civil War, the tail end of World War I. You're like, okay, sure,
right,
but oh my gosh, it was so good. Mm-hmm. That was and it's a 3-player game. We played it 2-player. But it is so good. The bots
destroyed it.
Really
the bot destroyed.
good.
The bot destroyed us.
They're very easy to use. But I was so happy with how good it was and how much I liked it. I was like, oh my goodness, kind of blew me away a bit. How much I like that game. Another one that I really like is This War Without an Enemy.
Oh yeah, the English Civil War.
I'm biased because it's English Civil War, but
that's a good game.
It's a block war game, but it's actually much meatier and crunchier than some of the simpler block war game fare out there, and the battle resolution's really cool in that.
Yeah,
with having like firing units, infantry, and then you've got your cavalry, and there's a bit of chaos with are they going to charge the enemy and rout them off the board, and you can't use them, or are they actually going to be able to hold them back so that you can use them again? Oh, that game was very good.
Another one I really enjoyed. Do we have it on the table? And this is not all the games. Oh, Dawn's Early Light.
Yes.
Card-driven game,
Very good.
War of 1812. I enjoyed the heck out of that one.
Yes.
We obviously need to play it again, but as the United States, I wasn't aggressive enough and allowed you to build up. But man, it was really a well done card-driven game that had a lot of very interesting parts.
Good mix of tactics and chrome.
Yeah,
which is always nice. And it's funny. This isn't an actual correlation, but when I was putting together the review for that, it topped out at about 52 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that means we liked it because we talked about it for so long and we just rambled on because it was a really good game.
It was.
But that doesn't mean if it's a short review we hated it. That's not true. But
sometimes a game just sparks a lot more, it engenders more conversation. One, there might have been more elements about it that were interesting or novel or new.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I enjoyed that one. I also enjoyed and this was an older game, so we got it this year, like early in the year, from Compass, the card-driven game. Crap, where is it? It's not on the table.
Prelude to
Rebellion.
Yes, that was very good.
I enjoyed that game. We played that. I want to say that was one of the first games we played before, or one of the last games we played.
Yeah, we played that in January or February.
Before we went into, and man, had a great time with that. We also played Stalingrad 42 in January.
Very good game.
From GMT. That was an awesome game. It ended up being, I think it was my number 2 or 3 on my 2019 list.
Yeah, because that came out tail end of 2019.
Wait, literally we got it like in December. And
yeah.
we had to read the rules, clip it, and then we got it punched out. And then also really enjoyed Harold Buchanan's from 2019, American Revolutionary War game,
Campaigns of
77. Yeah. From Decision Games in Strategy and Tactics. Really enjoyed that one. Point-to-point movement game, and I felt like some of the outcome was determined if you didn't do certain things, but it also, as the British or as the Patriots.
It had a gorgeous Terry Leeds map as well. That was a pleasure to play with that thing.
Yeah. So those were some of the games that I enjoyed, and we also, I know we went back and played, oh my gosh, we played around Halloween. We were kind of playing a little bit, and then we decided to get back into a little more, stop seeing each other as much. But we played Zombies, Warfighter. Man, that was a blast. Yeah. I had a great time with that.
That was hilarious, yeah.
Had a really good time with that. It's just
fun.
A fun, it's not a normal war game, but it's a game that we enjoy. It's a solo game, but you can do it cooperatively. We played some really good games this year, even though we didn't play as much.
Yeah.
We played some really good games. The Crisis of Frederick II from Führer to Teutonicus. Interesting game. I'm not sure I loved that game.
It's very long.
Very long, and I also feel like it's one of those games like, I'm going to kick your butt for the first 8 turns. So I think, Frederick II was kind of retreating from fortress to fortress, and then it's like you started to get your cards back and your feet under yourselves, and then I was able to. And then it's you crushing
the other person.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it was interesting.
Yes,
it was an interesting card-driven game. It used cards, but not like normal cards. There were no ops. It was more event. I enjoyed that one. It was weird. I still need to think a lot about that one because I thought about that. We did not do a review on that because we wanted to play it one more time, and we never got around to playing it.
This year also is a year where, especially because I was at home, I played a lot of tabletop war games solitaire as well. So I finished painting a whole bunch of armies and played a lot of battle group, so World War II tanks and figurines.
From PSC Games, right?
Yes, they're the one who make the rules set, and frankly, a lot of the models that I have. So that was something that I did.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. So I enjoyed doing a lot of that as well. Just as something different from Hex Encounter and point-to-point games, is playing some tabletop as well.
Well, and we did play some Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth.
Yep.
We also played a little bit of Gloomhaven, The Jaws of the Lion.
Yes.
Kind of mini, I don't know what you call that.
Well, it's just Gloomhaven.
Jaws of the Lion.
Slightly smaller.
Yeah. We played a little bit of that with our father-in-law near the end of the summer, first of the fall. I felt like we played a lot of games. Now that I sit here and think about it, I think we played a lot of games. We just didn't play together necessarily.
Yes, and it was not nearly as much as we would have done.
Yeah.
We're
pretty consistently, we play every week. I mean, pretty much every week.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It's rare that we don't play in a week sometimes.
Yeah. And I didn't go on vacation at all this year.
Yeah, no.
I don't think you guys went anywhere either, so it was like
not anywhere that I wanted to.
Yeah.
I was in the UK for a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, because of your father's passing.
Yes.
And my mother passed away in January. So that was a rough year for us. Now that I don't want to get into that because I'll probably start crying.
But it was a lot of. I mean, they say 2020 was like the longest decade of all time.
Yeah, right. 1 year was a decade's worth
December
of time.
was the longest year of my life.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like it never ended, and I don't know, it impacted our wargaming to an extent.
Yep.
But I'm hoping that at some point during 2021, we're able to get back to a bit more normalcy and a much more regular in-person play as well.
Yeah.
But amazingly, there has not been a kind of, you know, I was worried there'd be
A
some kind
slowdown.
of famine of games, but there's not.
Yeah.
There's a ton of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
We've been able to put out content that at least somewhat regularly.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm going to be
been good.
I'm going to be frank. I think we did our videos. We did our same 2 to 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
So I think you did a good job of doing some solo stuff. I did some solo stuff.
Yeah.
Then when we could play, we typically would do all day.
We try to bash out as many as we could.
We try to always pick a small war game, followed by a bigger one, do a couple videos, and that kept us in content. Also the blog, I felt like I had a lot more time at home.
Yeah.
We weren't going anywhere. We weren't going to sports games and church activities. We just weren't doing some of those things. So I felt like I had a lot more time to write. One thing I wanted to say about the blog, we now are coming up on our 5th birthday.
Yes.
Our 5th year anniversary will be in April.
April
the 16th of 2021. We started on April the 16th of 2016. Amazing. 5 years has gone very quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels like we've been doing it longer almost as well. I'm like, oh, it was only 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it feels like we've been doing this, not in a bad way. Like we've been doing it forever, but like we've met so many people and people are so kind, and we get to interact and talk to a lot of people on social medias or emails and things like that. I don't know. I feel like I've been welcomed into the wargaming community as if I'd been here since I was a wee lad almost.
I would agree. Yeah, we've been embraced. I do want to mention, I know this year we were awarded, and I don't know the criteria, but we won a Charles S. Roberts award
that was very nice.
I'm going to mess up the name, but Best Wargame Review or Analysis.
Yes, something like that.
And we were up against some people that are very good at what they do. So that was a great honor. I think we appreciated it. I don't know that we always feel like that's the case, because we feel like we're kind of loosey-goosey, run and gun. You know, we play a game, we just say how it was. We don't go into a lot of detail about strategy or tactics, or you do talk about the board's state.
But and it's nice. It's nice to know that people appreciate what we do, because sometimes it's like I feel like we just ramble, but if that's what people want, it's totally fine by me.
Well, if they watch, I guess that's what I don't know, but we're very humbled by that.
Yes, very excited for what's coming in 21. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com,
and I'm Grant.